Hai, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Atirah Binti Zakaria, and I am one of the presenter from this group, and we will be presenting about judicial separation. According to the section 47 of the LRA provides, when dealing with divorce, judicial separation, and nullity that subject to the provision in the LRA, the court must act and give relief on principles which is, in the opinion of the court, conform as closely as possible to the principle on which the High Court of Justice in England acts and give relief in matrimonial proceedings.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nadhirah Binti Hashim. As for the definition of judicial separation is a legal process by which a married couple may formalize a de facto separation while remaining legally married. A judicial separation is granted in the form of a court order. In cases where children are involved, a court order of judicial separation often makes child custody arrangements, specifying sole custody or shared parenting, as well as child support. Some couples obtain a judicial separation as an alternative to a divorce. Based on moral or religious objections to divorce, judicial separation does not automatically lead to divorce. The couple might reconcile, in which case they do not have to do anything in order to continue their marriage. Next, the differences between judicial separation and divorce. Judicial separation differ from divorce proceeding in a number of ways. Firstly, the petition for judicial separation can be filed at any time post-marriage, while divorce can only be filed after the completion of 1 year of marriage. Secondly, judicial separation only has one stage judgment, where if grounds are satisfied, decree will be granted, while in divorce, the judgment has two-step process. Thirdly, judicial separation suspends the marriage for a temporary time, while divorce brings marriage to an end. Fourth, in judicial separation, parties cannot remarry after the passage of decree, but in divorce, they can remarry once decree in favor of divorce is passed. Lastly, judicial separation has the possibility of reconciliation. Meanwhile, there has no possibility to reconcile in divorce.
My name is Nurul Nasywa Binti Rozali. A decree of judicial separation has three main effects. Firstly, it gives the court the power to make the same financial orders as it could make on a divorce, with the exception that it cannot to make a pension sharing order. Secondly, the decree operates just like a divorce in terms of its effect on a will. The spouse can no longer take any benefit unless a new will is made specifically stating that it is to be the case that they can benefit from the will. Thirdly, the spouses are no longer obliged to cohabit with each other, though this is of little practical meaning, given that one spouse cannot legally force the other to live with them.
The grounds of judicial separation. Adultery. The court must be satisfied that the spouse has committed adultery and that the person issuing proceedings finds it intolerable to live with the spouse. Adultery is voluntary sexual intercourse between a man and woman who are not married to each other. Second, unreasonable behavior. This ground can be used if the person who is issuing the proceedings believes that the other party has behaved in such a way that they cannot reasonably be expected to remain living with them. The third is desertion. This ground could be considered if the other party has deserted the person who is issuing the proceedings for a period of at least 2 years and they did not consent to this decision. In practice, this ground is very rarely used and it is generally recommended that proceedings are issued on other grounds. Fourth, 2 years separation by consent. This ground can be used if the parties have lived separately from each other for at least 2 years and the other party consents or agrees to the proceedings. And the fifth, 5 years separation. If the parties have lived apart for at least 5 years, this ground could be considered. The other party does not need to consent to this divorce, but they are allowed to apply for financial claims against the person who is issuing the proceedings.
My name is Siti Noramanah Binti Saidi, metric number 053045.
Advantages. When couples decide to choose to get a divorce, the agreement for separation may be the grounds of the divorce separation. There could be tax benefits for filing the taxes jointly. Assets and debts may be regarded as independent entities and properties as there is a legal separation. People could still be qualified for Social Security benefits if they stay married and reach the 10-year requirement for that purpose. Specific benefits from the military can be kept. Health insurance may be carried on using the benefits of the other spouse. It enables the couple a little time and space to live separately and determine if it helps their relationship or leads them to divorce. An agreement of separation shows various issues that must be handled when the couple is not together. Disadvantages. Legal separation may take long and be as intense as a divorce process. It causes stress and mental strain that typically leads to the downfall of the relationship. Expensive and the likelihood of success is minimal. Have an effect on the potential to date again or settle down with another person. Legal separation isn't something a state acknowledges. Some states don't allow the separation decree to turn into a divorce decree, meaning that people need to go through the whole process again and the cost will double.
In conclusion, judicial separation is a good alternative if a divorce is not viable. Once judicially separated, the couple will not longer be required to fulfill their marital obligations and are permitted to live apart indefinitely.